Welcome to the Fibro Me Fabulous podcast, where we discuss all things fibromyalgia. Done by not a complete idiot, but some parts are missing or just not working properly. Hello, my beautiful rascals, and welcome to another episode of the Fibro Me Fabulous podcast. Today, I want to talk about how to enjoy your life despite the pain, despite the tiredness, despite everything that is working against you right now. Right? I'm recording this. It's Sunday, the 19th, and tomorrow is Blue Monday. So when this goes live, that will be yesterday, and I hope you're doing all right. Just let me know if you're doing okay. And it's the hardest part of the year. And why is that? Because especially if you're living on the side that's having winter right now, there's probably not a lot of sun. Here in the Netherlands, it's more rainy and cloudy than I've ever seen it in the winters. It's just the days are short, there's no sunlight. Usually there's a lot of catching up to do at work from Christmas. Stress levels are high and it's not really particularly fun. January is usually not particularly a fun part of the year. So if you're dealing with depression, if you're dealing with chronic pain, dealing with chronic fatigue, how do you still get to enjoy your life? How do you still have fun in your life without just feeling that you only need to survive the day, right? Because I have lived through that. I have lived through just trying to survive the day and everything else could, fuck off, basically. Just getting through the day, that's all I was focusing on. Just surviving, just getting through the day. And that's not a life. Like I said, that's just surviving. And if you're just surviving, you are not living. And if you are not living, you have nothing to live for. And that can spiral down into deep, dark thoughts that sometimes you don't get out of. And we want to prevent that from happening. So, I get these questions from people. How do you do it? How do you live with this? And be so happy, and the truth is I'm not always happy, but I am trying to find the happiness in things, the beautifulness in little things. I try to make life better for myself every single day, and how do I do that? I try to take care of myself mostly. I'm an ex-people pleaser, and I used to take care of everyone else, and if everyone else was taken care of, then I thought of myself. So that was almost never. And it's sad to look back on, but it happened, and we cannot take back time. It's something I needed to get through to understand this and to explain it to you, that you are important. You cannot give everything away from yourself and not expect to come out happy. It's time that you take care of yourself. It's time that you give yourself what you need. If we're looking for happiness in the outside, in other people, persons, materials, money, you'll never be happy. If your happiness were in material things, then why can somebody being homeless be the happiest person in the world? And somebody who has it all, good relationships, a good job, a lot of money, be depressed? So it's not in the things. Because otherwise the rich guy who has everything would be happy, and the guy who has nothing would be depressed. But it's not that way, it's the other way around. So it's not in the things you own or you have. It's in your mindset. And I know I was skeptical for a while, how can the way that you think be the solution to depression? It's the situation around me. If that would be better, I would be happy. Yeah, I felt that too. But you're so wrong. And it took me a long time to realize that. It took me going through stuff and realizing that I had no other option left than to change my mindset. That I began to realize that changing your mindset is the answer. Because since I changed my mindset, I've been so much happier, and my situation didn't change much. My situation changed because of my mindset. That's why my situation changed. My mindset didn't change because of the situation. It's the other way around. If you change your mindset, you change your situation. You have two things that you can do. You can either accept the situation that you're in, or if you don't like it and you don't want to accept it, do something about it. That's the only two options you have. Yeah, you can wallow about it, you can complain about it, but that won't change anything and you will be stuck forever. If that's not what you want, and I'm guessing that is, because otherwise you wouldn't be looking for a podcast like this. And try to see what you can do in your life. If you cannot accept the situation that you're in, okay, what can you do to make it 1% better? Like, if you're thirsty, how do you change that? Well, you make yourself a glass of water, you get yourself a cup of tea, and that's a 1% better, right? Look at your life, and the reason why we get so hopeless, there's the hopelessness, is because you usually, when you're in the mindset like this, you're so far away from the life that you want, you think you are not able to get that ever. The gap is too big. Okay, if the gap is that big and you're never able to reach that, what can you do to get 1% closer to that? Can you get 1% closer to the person that you want to be? And that's how I have built the life that I have now. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm also nowhere near where I was. I'm right in the smack dab in the middle. We always think that our lives have to look like everybody else's, because that's what we're told, Find love, get children, get a dog or a cat, get a house, and then you will be happy. But that's not the case for everyone. I mean, what if you don't want to have children? What if you don't want to get married? What if you don't want to buy a house? What if you want to travel? Someone else's happiness doesn't have to be your happiness. You need to find out what makes you happy, not what you think will make you happy, or if somebody told you will make you happy. Find out what really makes you happy, not what you're supposed to be doing according to whomever. And for me, one of the important things is to add play into my life. And a lot of people who take themselves very seriously are like, you're not going to play, you're an adult. Trust me, those people have shitty lives. If you do not have fun, if you do not have play, if you do not laugh at least once a day, I'm sorry, but what are you doing with your life? Your life sounds boring and fucking shit as hell. I don't want to live that life. Thank you. So, watch some funny videos that make you laugh. Watch a comedian that makes you laugh. Go do something silly with your friends. Have a music night and dance silly dance, Walk silly walks. Go do the things that made you happy as a child. One thing I really miss is gaming. I really miss that, and especially gaming with someone else watching and having fun and doing silly things in the game, or just laughing about something because you yeeted yourself off a mountain, and then laughing about it. And I miss that. And right now I don't really have friends that I play with. So I thought, how can I create the same feeling without having to make, specific friends? And, we're all adults also, so the friends that I have don't always have time to come over and watch me play games. So that's why I decided to stream. Because I thought, the people who want to watch me will come and watch me. And the funny thing is that even some of my friends are watching me on stream. Because then they can watch me stream, but they can also do something in their own home, like cleaning up or something like that. So right now I have more chance of my friends watching me play as that I would specifically invite them over to, and that's how you need to create your own life, create your own fun. And especially if you're chronic fatigue, right? So yesterday I streamed, but before I went to stream, I wanted to, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to because I was so freakingly tired. But that's the danger. If you're always tired, you always want to rest. And if you always want to rest, you never have a life. If you're spending your whole day on the bed and on the couch, you are not living. You're just existing. And that's not a life. So try to do the things that you love or that you loved as a kid. And despite the tiredness, despite the pain, go and do that. And you don't have to do that for a long time. You can do it for 10 minutes. See how it goes. I picked up reading. I loved reading horror books as a kid. If you know the books Goosebumps by Errol Stein, I loved those books. I loved reading the horror stories. And I also read another series from Errol Stein called Fear Street. I loved those kinds of books, but for some reason, in my teens or so, I stopped reading books and I never picked up a book again, basically. Then in my 20s, I just started to read some, trying to get it back up. I read a couple of series. I read Harry Potter, and I read the Vampire, not the Vampire Diaries. God, what is the other vampire movie? Twilight. I read those books, and I read them in English because my first language is Dutch, and I tried to read English books as well, just to get my language up to speed, because I was back then I was also working in an international childcare, and it's Twilight is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. But yeah, hey, everybody has their guilty pleasure, For me, that's Twilight. So yeah, I read the books, I watched the movie, and but after that, I dropped it again because I was so overly consumed with taking care of everybody else but myself. And now that I am alone, I'm not in a relationship, I have friendships, but we're all pretty much to ourselves, and we make time for each other, and we reach out to each other a lot, but we also live our own lives. We're not chained together or something like that. We are living our own lives, and if we see each other, it's just good. And I'm trying to fill my life with things that bring me joy. That woman, I don't know what she's called, but it's like with getting things out of your house and, deciding if things spark joy. And I like that for your life as well. Like the things that you are doing, of course, there are some things that we sort of quote unquote need to do, right? We need to pay our bills, so we need to get a job because we need to pay our bills, and that's the kind of stuff. But that doesn't mean you cannot have fun. So if you're not in a job that you're like, try to find another job. It's okay to leave. Sometimes we are like, yeah, but we have stability right now. Yeah, but if that stability makes you depressed, then what the fuck does that stability do? We are thinking from such a wrong such a way that we're taught, but there is another way to think. You are allowed to think out of the box. You're allowed to do things that are out of the box. Not everybody has to approve of your life. You have to approve of your life. You have to approve of you. You have to be happy, because you cannot find this happiness outside of yourself. You can only find it within. If you have fun, if you have a happy life, you project that to the world. And then you will attract the right people. So if you want a relationship because you want to go out on romantic dates, take yourself out on a romantic date or do something that fulfills that hole. Because everything that you want and don't think you can get from inside of yourself is a need you are neglecting in yourself. So everything that you want, so money, what is that money going to give you? What feeling do you get from that money if you would have it, right? Start to dig deep inside yourself. Like if you get a partner, what do you expect that partner to give you? And what feeling are you expecting to get? What are you expecting to get out of that? And project that to yourself. How can you give that to yourself? Because I will give you this devil's argument, right? Okay, let's say you really want a relationship. Because if somebody loves you, you can finally love yourself. What if there is never a partner? What if the partner never comes? You're never gonna love yourself? You're never gonna enjoy life until you have that partner? That sounds like a sad existence. Give yourself what you need. If you think you needed somebody else or something else to get it, you don't. Look inside yourself. How can you get what you think you need from the outside? How can you get that from yourself, from you? And if you start working on yourself, so sometimes weird things happen about sparking joy. I never have the urge to clean up. I always have to push myself to clean up. I don't like cleaning up. It's boring. I don't want to do it. I do it because I need to, but it's not one of my favorite things, you know? But for some reason, right now, don't know why, I have the urge to clean up. I feel I have too much stuff. And the too much stuff is also, you know, maybe you have too much stuff going on in your life that's not really for you, right? You have too much clutter in your life, and you need to keep the stuff that it's helping you and not the stuff that is cluttering around your house and your life. And I once heard in a podcast, which was really mind-blowing to me, that the reason why you cannot keep your house clean or cleaned up, not like clean as in a clean space, but the clean as in messy. The reason why you cannot do that is because you have too much stuff. Everybody has a capacity of keeping up with stuff, putting it away and all that stuff. And that level is different for everyone. For me, that threshold is probably very low, because the more stuff I have, the more difficulty I have to keep it away, to clean it up. And right now, I don't know, my brain just says, enough is enough. I have too much stuff. It has to go. So I'm throwing away things. I'm giving away things that are still good, making my friends happy in the progress and the people around me. So that's always good. But look at that in your life, not only in your house, but also in your life. What is the mess? What are the things you're holding on to that can go because they are cluttering up your life? And it's with chronic pain and chronic fatigueness, you know, and also with neurodivergency. We cannot hold as much stuff as everybody else. Because our tax is less, we can hold less. And that's okay. You know, I cannot have a lot of stuff in my house like some other people do. Other people can have a lot of stuff and their house looks like a showroom. Mine? Not so much. Or not at all, actually. If you look at my house right now, even, you know, I'm in the middle of cleaning up things. And my house is a big mess right now. But that's fine, because I'm getting rid of stuff, and at the end it will be a nice result, and I will not have so much stuff, and when I'm opening cupboards, things won't fall out of the cupboards anymore, and that's really nice, you know? Or when you buy something, you don't know where to put it, because you have already so much stuff. I'm trying to live more minimalistically, and not only in my house, but also in my life. I'm very careful with my energy, because I have a low amount of energy. I cannot waste it like everybody else. I have to be very careful. I need to do the things that spark joy, because otherwise my energy cup will be empty. I will be out of spoons. So yeah, I hope that sparked joy for you. And I know I was a little bit more aggressive in this podcast, but I'm like, come on, wake up. You don't know how beautiful life can be. And I know how it is to be in that deep, dark place that you think that you don't belong, when you think that the world is better off without you. I know what that place is like. I've been there, and I never thought I would be happy. And I am right now. I am happy with just a few friends, a small group of family, and no partner. I would never think that would make me happy. I am. My days of joy, my days of happiness are more frequent than the days I am down. And I want you to experience that too. That's why I'm making that podcast. I want you to be happy. And I am at the same road as you. Maybe I'm just in a couple of kilometers or a couple of miles ahead. But I'm traveling the same road as you are. And you can get there too. So if you promise me one thing, if you promise yourself one thing, is that you'll try. Try to get out of this mindset. Try to get out of thinking. Because you have the power to change your life. You have the power to create your own happiness. Don't give that power away. That power is yours. It really is. So, yeah. That's why I'm being a little bit more aggressive in this this podcast. I think you deserve happiness. I think you deserve love. I think you deserve to love yourself wholeheartedly. And loving yourself doesn't mean the bad parts go away. The bad parts of yourself are still here. You just need to learn to accept them. There cannot be light without darkness. And there cannot be darkness without light. If you want to experience the good emotions, there have to be bad emotions. Otherwise, everything would be neutral. So, life is a balance, yin and yang. Take the bad with the good. And if you experience a lot of bad, and you work on yourself, and you really try to make your own life better, things will flip around. Trust me, I didn't think it was possible. I was very skeptic. But it was my last option. And boy, am I glad I took it. So take it. Take this opportunity. You deserve this. You owe it to yourself to try. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Hope you have a good week. And if you do not have a good week, then make it the most best week you can. Do something for yourself that makes you think like, well, it was a bad week, but at least I did that. What's the next best thing you can do? All right. If you think this podcast has helped you, if you think this podcast is valuable, please share, please like, give me 5 stars wherever you're listening to. So if it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave me a review, leave me a like, leave a comment. It really helps spreading this podcast to the people that need it. Like you, because you found me. Help me make a positive impact in this world and give people a glimpse of what it is like to get out of that dark space, out of that blue Monday. Have a good one, everyone. See you in the next one.